Frisco, Texas is one of those cities that came out of absolutely nowhere. In fact, I remember even a few years ago having gone to a soccer game in Toyota Stadium, and it took us over 4 hours to get out of the area because the toll booth on the Dallas North Tollway was still taking payments manually. So needless to say, I've hated soccer since then, and I've never looked back. But enough about me, let's talk about Frisco, Texas. Because today we're going to look at Frisco's history, what it's like to live in Frisco, and we're also going to explore the affordability, employment, lifestyle, and real estate in the area, which will also give us an opportunity to compare Frisco to the other cities in the Metroplex. And said a different way, today we're looking at everything you need to know about Frisco, Texas. Frisco is located directly north of Dallas, so this means it's on the northeastern side of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's one of those cities that if you want to get to quickly, you have to pay up, because you have the Dallas North Tollway running north to south, and as Frisco's southern boundary, you have Sam Rayburn's Tollway. And we also need to talk about one of the fastest growing highways in the country, and that's Highway 380, which connects Frisco and McKinney and the other northern cities that are rapidly growing. Now, if you're trying to get from Frisco to downtown Fort Worth, give yourself about 50 minutes. Now, if you're trying to get to Dallas, that's going to take you about 30 minutes. Now, reminder, be mindful that this is a tollway. And if you find yourself going to the DFW International Airport quite frequently, give yourself about 25 minutes. Now, I share that information because this is really where a lot of the people that commute to work go to. They either go to Fort Worth or go to Dallas, or they hop on a plane and go. But to give you a better sense of what the commute looks like overall, this is a visual representation of how far you can travel away from Frisco within 30 minutes. So now that we have a better understanding of where Frisco, Texas even is, I want to welcome you to the DFW Homeowner YouTube channel, the go-to real estate channel for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. My name is Jaime Resendez, your local realtor and team leader, able to help you make money in real estate whether you're buying or selling. And we're on a mission to speak with every DFW resident. So if you hit that like button, that's going to really help us out. Frisco, Texas is in Collin County and Denton County. The city of Frisco was founded on February 23, 1902, when the Frisco Railroad no longer needed the land for their right-of-way. So the town itself was named after the Frisco Railroad. Now, it remained a sleepy farming community until the late 1970s, when the developers began buying up large tracts of land in the area with the intention of building residential subdivisions, which led to explosive growth in the 1980s and 90s as Frisco became one of the fastest growing cities in the country, which at the time of this recording is about to hit 200,000 in population. Now, in 2003, Frisco was named the best place to move to in America by CNN Money and Money Magazine. And every year after that, Frisco has actually remained on the list. Frisco is now home to several professional sports teams, including the Dallas Cowboys, Frisco RoughRiders, FC Dallas, and the Texas Tornado, along with now being the new home of the PGA. So as you can probably tell by now, Frisco is one of those cities that has really seen a huge boom over the past several years, which generally means you can expect a lot of activities, great facilities, and incredible real estate. And I can certainly go ahead and confirm that. However, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's add a bit more context and introduce an external resource in niche.com, which interprets millions of public data sets and information on cities all across the country, which ranked Frisco number 2 best place to raise a family in Collin County. So as you can see, Frisco received an A+ grade from Niche, having aggregated the 12 categories that you're seeing on the screen. Now, for the full report on Frisco, I'm going to leave a link down below so you can explore every single one of those categories, because now we need to get into the fun stuff, the recreation, the parks, the lifestyle, outdoors. The city of Frisco itself provides 49 parks, ranging from neighborhood parks all the way to large community parks, along with a vast system of trails and natural areas. Now, if you're looking for hiking and biking trails, Frisco has miles upon miles, and I mean upon miles, of those to choose from. Now, when it comes to community parks, they're spread out throughout Frisco for easy access. Now, when it comes to facilities in the outdoors, Frisco is first class. You can quickly find yourself feeling like a professional athlete having spent a couple of months in Frisco, because every single facility and complex is state of the art. Now, we do need to take a moment and look at the school system, because that really matters. Regardless if you're a parent or not, you need to have an understanding of the school system, because one, it's going to impact the amount of property taxes that you pay. And in Texas, you're paying a good amount of property taxes, just as a heads up. And it also impacts your resale value of your home. Frisco ISD has 43 elementary schools, 17 middle schools, and 12 high schools. Now, it also has 3 special program centers for a total of 75 schools throughout the ISD. Now, when it comes to the classrooms, the student to teacher ratio is 15-1. And from the state accountability standpoint, it has a district rating of an A, which is the highest grade. And when you look at the assessments and exams, the STAR results amount to 88% have met state standard across all grades and all subjects. And the average ACT score is 25.7, with the average SAT score being 1143. Now we can keep going and talk about the honors and accolades that Frisco ISD has. However, I can't go into too much additional detail because I'm a real estate agent. So I want to share with you a full report of Frisco ISD. The only other thing that I want to mention about Frisco ISD before we move forward is that it's one of the highest rated ISDs in the state. Now, something that's very important to me and something that I look for, no joke, every single time that I move to a new city is what's the Chick-Fil-A situation like? And thankfully, Frisco has 4 Chick-fil-A locations to choose from. Now that may be important to you, but it also might not. That's up to you. What should be on everybody's radar is the real estate situation in Frisco. Because regardless if you're a renter or a homeowner, real estate impacts the quality of life that you have. So I want to give you a snapshot of what the Frisco real estate market looks like. The typical home value of homes in Frisco is $712,324. Now this value is seasonally adjusted and only includes the middle price tier of homes. Now please don't fall out of your chair for this next stat because Frisco home values have gone up 34.1% over the past year. That's actually one of the highest percentage changes year over year across the entire country. And as you can appreciate, over the past 10 years, the home prices in Frisco have gone up, but it was nothing compared to what happened in 2021 to 2022. Now, very briefly, the reason that this happened, especially in Frisco, is because of all of the opportunity, all of the homes that were being built, all of the jobs that were coming in here. So a lot of people needed a place to move very quickly. So the demand just absolutely exploded. Well, that and the historic interest rates that were available at that time. So while Frisco rose 34% in a year, the entire DFW Metroplex averaged about a 25% rise overall. But with that being said, let's see how Frisco stacks up to its neighboring cities when it comes to the median home value. You have Prosper up north with a median home value of $843,000. You have McKinney with $563,000. You have Allen with $557,000. The Colony with $434,000. And you have Plano with $547,000. And off to the west, you have Little Elm with the median home value being $476,000. So if you like a lot of the amenities and benefits that Frisco has to offer, but it's beyond your budget, there's other comparable cities right around Frisco that might be a better fit. Now, you may not be all that familiar with real estate right now, and that's okay. You either bought your home several years ago or you have never purchased a home in the past. So when you hear $500,000, $700,000, $1 million for homes, you might be left wondering, well, how much of a home is that? So I want to show you what that $713,000 median home value buys you in Frisco. Now, if you're wondering what the monthly mortgage payment looks like for a home like this, check out this video that I made showing you how to calculate that. Now, if you're out of state, that video is mandatory watching because you're getting ready to understand what property taxes are all about. Given that here in Texas in the DFW Metroplex, it's one of the highest property tax rates in the country. And speaking of the rest of the country, let's understand how Frisco stacks up cost of living wise. Overall, Frisco's cost of living is higher by 1% than the national average. Now, when it comes to housing, the cost of living in Frisco is actually 18% higher. And the same can be said for utilities. It's 18% higher than the national average. Now, thankfully, you get a discount on your groceries because it's actually 9% less than the national average. And for transportation, it's almost break even compared to the national average. So at this point, if you're thinking, Jaime, Frisco is the home for me, where can I start? Well, if that's you, check out the link in the description where you can connect with our top realtors. However, if you're still on the fence, that's okay. I want to give you 2 other cities to consider. I want you to check out Allen and Coppell because both of those cities have a lot of the similar characteristics and qualities that Frisco has.